Okay, welcome to the Vinyl Collective, back for another episode on your weekly journal on the hip hop and R&B landscape. I'm your host John,
and I'm your co-host Topper. Welcome back. So episode 19. We're not too far from the big 2-0. We're growing. We made this joke a few weeks. We're growing up quickly, but I'll leave that. I'll leave that. So let's just get right into it. Let's not fuck about. So. You know me, I'm a big fan of nostalgia, right? So, if anyone's been like a really avid listener, like one of the shows that I've been, running through recently is Futurama. Big fan of Futurama. Going through all 10 seasons on season 8 at the moment. We'll let you know how it goes. But this is not, stop it. It's not about Futurama, it's about Family Guy. So, remember that episode of Family Guy? I don't know if you're a big fan of Family Guy, John, are you?
I've seen a few episodes here and there, no, not really.
The listeners will know. So there was an episode, right, where, Lois and Peter started smoking weed together again. Mm-hmm. So they were revisiting their youth. They thought, let's bring the fire back. And so they're high on weed, and then they wanted to make music, right? So then they go to this like open mic, and obviously in the cartoon, right, they're killing it. They had the banjo, everything. Like they thought they smashed it. Like it was fucking.
I know where this is going. Go on. I know where this is going.
They wake up the next day, right, and also. They asked, I think it was Meg or something, like, did we not kill it? And they were like, no, you were shit. I mean, it goes to like the cutscene of how it really happened, and they're just like belligerent, screaming. The banjo's broken, like it's just fucking ridiculous, right? And to tie it as you know where it's going. So, what the fuck is going on with this Rick Ross Tiny Desk? Like, there's so many elements to this. That is all bad. I need your thoughts, John. Hit me with it.
It's not good. I haven't watched the whole thing through, but I've seen enough 2-minute segments to know that I don't want to watch it again. I don't know what that guy is. What is that guy's voice? The main vocalist.
Pinky. We're gonna call him Pinky.
Gonna call him Pinky. The guy that dyed his hair. He was awful. Didn't he sing? Like Drake's part on a song that they had.
Yeah, and he couldn't sing it because when he what is that? I wish we could legit do a full episode on this because there's so many. It's 20 minutes, John. There's so many things you could pick apart in this Tiny Desk that are just all bad. This, it's just straight off the bat. He has to be related to Rick Ross. He has to be because there's no other reason why
he's been invited. Absolutely not.
Everyone seems out of sync. Rick Ross seems like, he smoked a joint like an hour before and he's just easy. Everyone else seems like they did cat. Like, I'm not even joking. So let's start off with Pinky, right? So you're talking about the song Aston Martin music, right? So there's a part that's like a high note, right? And he's not hitting it. So even though he's a backing singer, because he can't hit the high notes, he lets the other backing singer hit the high note. It's like, what the fuck? It's just, it is. If this was Hell's Kitchen, right? Like Gordon Ramsay's Hell's Kitchen. Gordon Ramsay always spots when someone's doing fuck all. I'll be like, who the fuck is this guy? Like, get out! Like, who is this guy? Like, what are you doing here? Like, he's just like expecting someone's food, like raw, like shit. Like, I'll be like, what is going on? Like, what in the Alicia Keys is going on here? Like, the way he's adding like a rock element to some of like Rick Ross's like most hip hop songs. Like, I don't understand what is going on in this 20-minute video. It was actually hilarious to watch. Like, first it was a bit hard to watch, but then it just became funny because like he was doing too much. He was doing way too much.
What other songs did he perform?
He performed "I'm Not a Star," "Blow Money Fast." Mm-hmm. What else did he do? Obviously, Maybach Music. Did a couple others. The thing is, that's another thing as well. All these songs were oldies. Like, none of them were like remotely recent. It was like a throwback to like, God Forgives I Don't, Rich Forever kind of era. Like, I mean, you know all about it, and that's your Dat Piff era, mate, isn't it? But anyways, it's just
gonna let that slide.
Yeah, like it's just I was just so confused by everything going on. Like, and it is. Like, there'll be times where he's doing like monologues, and again, it's not a concert, it's a tiny desk. Like, it's a tiny desk. There's times where he's doing monologues, right? And he has this like big like seat in it. And I'm pretty sure he's just doing it to take he's doing it to take like a water break. I don't think he's doing it for the aesthetics. I think he's just doing it to take a couple minutes out because he's there like performing. I'm like, what is going on? Like, similar with colors. I feel like Tiny Desk has lost its kind of allure, and it's kind of lost what made it unique. But it's like, oh, it's like in a local library, and it's cool. And I get it's socially distanced, but it's not just a place for like a mini. It's not a place for like a concert. It's not like, like it's not meant for that. It's kind of meant for like an intimate setting, and things are stripped down, and but everyone just seemed like it was like everyone was auditioning for like a record deal. Like it was just everyone seemed to just scream and shout or try to hit these really weird high notes. Pinky was just.
I don't know who arranged it. I literally don't know who arranged that.
We need answers, John. We need answers.
Because some people have enjoyed it. I've seen on Twitter. Some people have been like, yeah, like Rick Ross.
Anyone
like,
who's enjoyed
smoked
it has not watched the whole thing,
or
and
like,
it's just similar to the fans we cuss.
Rick Ross Tiny Desk is the best movie of the year.
No. Yeah. The thing is, you sent that initial clip to me, and you were like, "I did not enjoy this. I already knew it was going to be some shit." I thought, oh, you know what? John's a bit harsh, isn't it? Like, and you don't seem like the biggest fan of Rick Ross. Whatever. I'll go and listen to it. So I was doing my workout, I was listening to it. I was like, what is going like? Whew, like, yeah, this. You know what it is? It's gonna be so popular for all the wrong reasons. For all the wrong reasons. It's gonna be like, give it a few weeks. There's gonna be so many memes around it, especially Pinky. Yeah. Like, who the fuck?
No, what was he wearing as well? Some kind of like sleeveless like singlet thing. Yeah, not good.
Anyways, again, like I said, I could legit go on like a good 40-minute rant about this video, but if you haven't watched it, go watch it. You know what I mean? I'm not like, just go watch it. It's just for the lols. Like, it's
chaotic.
Hilarious.
They're all vibing, but it's not a vibe.
Not in sync. Like, it's just, that guy, he's definitely a fan of Alicia Keys, mate, I'm telling you. But anyways, what else has gone on this week, John?
We move on. What else has gone on? Well, we've had a few more albums. We've had UK's very own British slowthai. He has released how do we feel about it? Tyrone,
his second LP. Yep. So obviously, you know how I am about things that are fresh off the stove, and I got got to leave
sit on it for a bit.
You got to sit on it a bit, let it cool down. But I've given a couple run throughs. My initial thoughts. I've always been a big fan, and I kind of brought you into the church of slowthai. But I've always been So I'm surprised he's kind of come out with a second album. So I'm not gonna say quickly, because obviously it has been 2 years since his debut, Nothing Great About Prison. But I think because that did so well, I thought, okay, he's just gonna sit on it and just maybe give it another year or so. But he's back again with his second album, Tyrant. She said, initial thoughts, big fan. Like, really good album. 35, that perfect sweet spot, 35 minutes. It's got and he's even done the whole 2 discs. Like, I'm a big fan. Like, from what I've heard, I'm a big fan. I don't want to like put out like favorite tracks, worst tracks, but I'll say ASAP Rocky, killed it. Skepta, pretty good as well.
Great,
Do you know what I mean? So I'm a big fan. Like, everything. I like most things about this record. I think I have a more like nuanced opinion, but what are your thoughts, John?
Yeah, I'm a big fan. I think, I guess I like the transition from like the previous album, like Nothing Great About Britain. That was kind of like him as like the voice of the generation, wasn't it? Like a real critical look at the country and like speaking on behalf of people. But this was like taking that off, and he's taking that hat off, and he's kind of just like being really introspective and looking in, which I liked. I liked the fact that there were 2 CDs, as like two sides to it as well. Seen a lot of good memes about that, but like 2 real sides to it. I think the second side I preferred more. I thought a
lot of people have said that.
Bangers on
there's some side. Serious bangers on that one. Like, I think I put a Song of the Day yesterday. Like, I tried.
I tried. Terms I really like, the one with Denzel Curry.
Yes. Most, and even NHS as well. I think I've spoken to you about this, but I don't listen to singles before an album. Like, when I know albums come in, or the upcoming singles, I don't listen to. I just wait for the album. So even some of SZA's songs I haven't heard. So when I heard some of these songs, I know NHS has been around for a while. I know the Skepta song's been out for a while, but he's talking about some, like, one thing about slowthai, right, that I really enjoy. Like, even though he comes across like a guy who does like boy racing at like 11 o'clock at night, he does give you that aesthetic, but he is so self-aware of not only himself but the world around him. And I don't want to just say conscious, because that's just like everyone says that, right? But like, even though he's got like his social like issues like ADHD and stuff like that, even the song ADHD, good way to end the album. It seems like it's like, I think it's like he knows, he expects people to think he's stupid when he comes out with some of these like well thought out like discussions about things. Do you know what I mean? And I think that's what makes him so interesting as well. Like I think with this record he's kind of balanced out the aesthetic of Nothing Great About Britain, and then also brought way more of himself into it. And I think if you ask people, I think for people who like general hip hop, I think they'll like the second side more. But people who just like slowthai a lot, they're gonna like the first side more. And I think he's kind of found that balance for sure.
Yeah, there's a lot more of the like in your face, like I mean it's all caps, isn't it? Like
literally.
Yeah. So it's a good balance. Another album that's come out you can tell us about this week, which was
Lucky Day.
Yeah.
You know what it is? I'll be honest, I have not come round to that joint yet. It's on my radar. My radar. Go on,
I've listened to it once through. Because I think I put a song, what was it, yesterday? It's like Song of the Day. I think it was Access Denied. That was it with Ari Lennox.
Yeah.
Good song. Sample from I love my samples. Yeah. When I listen to a song and I know the sample, that's like the best.
Yeah, like
anyway,
it's like Leonardo DiCaprio means like, I know that. Yeah. I feel the same way.
So that's a Curtis Mayfield sample. Yeah, great song. One song I messaged you about, which was Falling in Love, and for the avid listeners out there, it's a bit of a left field comment, but there's a bit in the song leading up to the chorus where there's like the lead up to the chorus is exactly the same like sequence of notes as a Weeknd song, Die For You, in his Starboy album.
Okay.
It's like there's like a refrain in the song from the Starboy album where he's like even though the something, and he like leads into the chorus. Exactly the same notes, but anyway, I don't know.
Wait, it seems like you're dragging him for that.
I'm gonna. It's a very specific song. It's a very specific tune as well.
Can't just be inspired. Can't just be like, I liked that. I'll use some of that. We're fans of something. We spoke about it.
We are. Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know. I know what you mean. When things come across as a rip off, it is kind of hard to appreciate. So I get it. But yeah.
But no, good. I liked the project.
Okay. No, I was gonna say just another comment on Lucky Day, because our boy Junior, shout out to Junior, good guest, he's good,
very good guest.
He put one of his songs, Roll Some More, on our playlist. Yeah, checked it out. Music Be the Food of Love, good playlist. Good song. Like he's definitely got talent. I haven't listened to him much outside of features. This will be my first like Lucky Day project, so I'm expecting big things because he's massive right now. Like he's huge. So definitely looking forward to listening to that. Actually, another thing in the news. So this reminds me of in school, right? Like in school, like people used to tell me all the time, like I hold grudges, and they were right. I hold a grudge, like
you do.
like gorilla glue to hair, like like I'm very petty, and I've gotten a lot better at that, right? Like actually, cool. Like as I get older, I'm like, I'm getting to my mid-20s. Can't keep doing that. People
out.
Yeah. I'll stop it. But you can't keep doing that. Then sometimes I'm like, you know what? I'm not perfect. And then you look at someone who's older than you, you're like, if they're doing it, then okay, I don't have to figure it out right now, do I? Like, I can still work that out later on in life. So speaking about the guy who's about twice my age, Jay-Z, he's never gonna let that go, is he? Jay-Z, we share that same sentiment. Like he's always gonna hold on to that grudge. So for context, I think everyone knows the meme by now. Every time Nas drops, Jay-Z's gonna drop. And obviously they haven't beat for damn near 20 years now. And I'm pretty sure Jay-Z's like, you know what? It's all love.
Even Nas said like, oh, what a coincidence. Maybe we just have this kind of like synergy, this like relationship, It just travels across the coast.
Jay-Z is like, part of him is admitted, okay, you know what? I lost the battle, but you're never gonna win the war. Like I'm always, even when we're 60, I'm always just gonna be there. Like I'm just gonna just gonna come because he knows he's a bigger artist. But at the same time, I think it's pretty funny because it shows that he has respect for Nas, right? When Nas is dropping, he has to drop. He's not doing that with anyone else. It's petty as fuck, but it does show respect at the same time. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I've seen, so obviously these two songs were taken from the album, right? For what is it? Something in the Black Messiah.
Judas and the Black Messiah.
Judas and the Black Messiah.
Can't wait to watch that. Actually.
So did they release these songs on the same day and then the album came out later? Because
no, I think they released them as singles on the same day.
And then the album comes out. Yeah. So it was legit a same day release. Yeah. See, I in that sense, I'm like, I think I tweeted about it and I said, if I'm Nas, I'm not worried about it because, you know, the quality of some of Jay-Z's music in the last few years hasn't been.
It's been
always on point. Hasn't been always on point.
Apart from Entrepreneur, what hasn't been on point?
There were some strange lyrics. There were some strange references to Drake in the one he just released. I don't know why that was there. There were like 2 or 3 bars about like Drake and then 40 who says producer, and I was like, why are you randomly shouting out Drake? But I don't know. But Nas isn't one to shy away from pettiness. He released his album last year on his ex-wife's birthday.
Oh, so, yes, he did. Fair.
So I mean, if you're gonna, I guess you can't really be mad about that if you're gonna do that. So
I mean, someone said something which was also a good point. I don't know how true this is, but it's like, obviously they're all famous, right? They're all rappers. They all have inside knowledge. So who's to say that someone isn't telling Nas like, hey, Jay-Z's going to drop in this day. And he's like, fuck it, I'm going to do it as well. But when we see it, it's like, oh, Jay-Z's being petty when maybe Nas kind of knew already.
The ultimate strategist.
Yeah, the 200 IQ play.
Yeah. Some PR team he has.
Yeah. You don't believe me for shit. I can tell.
No.
I mean, I get it. I mean, Jay-Z's just hilarious because he's never gonna comment on it, is he? He's never gonna do it. But it's just funny. Like, it's been going on for like the best part of like 15 years. Like, there's too many times where it's just a coincidence.
He's like billionaire, just like got business meetings, and then he quickly gets his text like, Nas is dropping tomorrow. He's like, guys, I gotta go
everything.
off to the studio, quick. We've got to get 16 bars.
Not even that. You know what it is? I think he has like a Nas backlog. Like, I think he just has a backlog of songs where it's like, when Nas drops, send it out. Like, come on. Like, I'm not shitting on Nipsey, innit? But if Nas was not dropping, would he have released this song? Would this be on the album? I'm not sure. You know, like, he's just like, you know what, fuck it. You know what, we have that Nipsey feature, drop that one. Cool. Like, he's just not gonna let this man rest. You know, I respect it, to be honest. To hold this grudge for so many years, like, that is dedication. That's in your heart.
Hurt.
Like, that's some deep hurt, mate.
Some good other tracks from that album though. There was a Smino and Saba one.
Yeah. Shout out to those guys. I can't wait for them to drop. Oh, it's been like 3 years since
Chicago,
Chicago. Those are my 2 hopes of Chicago. Like I said, no shit. I lost faith in No Name, mate. I have no faith. I'm sorry. I love No Name.
You're not expecting big things from this album. Absolutely. Is that because of the recent?
Yes.
The state of her Twitter feed.
Whatever answer it is, the answer is yes. Like a Twitter feed.
I want it to be good.
I do want it to be good, but I have no faith. I honestly have. I wish I did, because I think No Name's dropped 2 amazing albums so far. Like, anyone who thinks Room 25 is not good is fucking sick. Like, but I just, you know, I just get that feeling like I did with Chance. Like, I just feel like something bad's gonna come, because it's been 3 years almost as well for her. So, and I gave her album of the year that year. I said she was my number 1.
Did you?
Yeah, I did. Over Care For Me, and Care For Me was a banger. So and the Saba singles leading up to whatever this new project's gonna be seem very good. So I'm anticipating big time.
Indeed.
Yeah. And
you told me just in other music news, ENNY, as you were telling me, has a new Colours song out. What were your thoughts?
See, this is why you can't just be like, you know, making bets off like one song or one record. Like, don't get me wrong, ENNY has definitely got talent, right? Like, she's got talent.
She's got a great flow.
Yes.
Like, just very, it's just so natural.
Yeah. like she knows how to ride a beat really well. She seems very comfortable when she's on a song.
Yeah, comfortable as well.
And that's, and yeah, do you know what I mean? Like, and that's a really good trait because a lot of people don't, especially when they're starting out. But I think this song shows there's definitely a lot more to do in terms of refining our artistry. It's not bad. It's not bad, but it's not Pain Black Girls. I'll say that. Like, it's decent. I'm surprised her second single came out as a Colors, like, because that's both your main singles. I know she had like a freestyle, but like now all your songs essentially are Colors shows, and it's like don't really understand that, but
I guess off the popularity of the Colours show, like because of the performance with Georgia and all that, kind of transpired there, I guess she knows if she releases another Colours, it's going to be probably taken quite, like, people like the visual aspect to it, don't they? So,
but once I found out that microphone was fake, it's like wrestling wasn't real. It just kind of took it away from me personally. But I get what you
find
mean.
out wrestling wasn't real. Be honest.
Way too late. I think I've said this before. I think way too late. Like, I was definitely more older.
Were you
than
in
10.
School?
Yeah,
Double
of course
figures.
I was in school. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, like, I mean, I'm not too old. It must have been like year 7 or so, like 100%. But yeah, it's like that. It's like I get it. Like,
a little heart, didn't it?
100. We'll talk about wrestling another day, mate. Like, wrestling was a big part of my childhood. But yeah, like, it's a cool song, but it's not as exciting, like, production wise, as Plain Black Girls. I think the lyrics aren't as sharp and to the point as Plain Black Girls either. Again, like, it only came out today, so maybe it's something I turn around next week and I'm like, this is fucking amazing. But for right now, I'm like, I'm not too sold on it the same way. But again, I'm not saying she's shit. I just think she's a new artist, and I think people are too quick to be like, yep, she's the one. Let's go. Chips in. I'm like, relax. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, she's just got here. So, like, give her time. We'll see how it turns out. But yeah, I'm not too worried.
Yeah, visually, shout out Colours. It seems they've moved in a different direction in terms of, like, they pick like one color, don't they? But this was a bit more of a.
I think the money's coming in for Colours.
I like it.
The money's coming in big time. Yeah. And I don't know, I feel like same with Tiny Desk and Colours. I think people are realizing, because it used to be just for like indie artists, like indie R&B and hip hop artists, and now you got fucking Rick Ross doing stuff. Like, you got all these like famous artists kind of stealing the show, and I'm not sure. I don't. It's not my platform, right? But surely it defeats the purpose a little bit if you kind of get all these superstars on your Colours, where it's kind of meant to be for like up and coming.
Yeah,
like, we had George went on it last week, right? And George is up and coming, and that was a really big moment for him. But someone,
big artists want, like, I don't know, maybe they're bored, they're at home, they just want to jump on something. Yeah. Some say top 8. I didn't say this, but word on the street is that this kind of change that Colours have done in the colour scheme, they're mixing up, almost akin to the way that the Vinyl Collective, they got Canva Pro, all their visuals, like leveled up a little bit. People are like, what's going on here, John on Tops? They're doing crazy stuff over there. Some are saying similar.
What can we say? I mean, we're talking about influence. We've definitely had some. I mean, you don't have to need to get into it too much in the episode, but we definitely had some. So yeah, shout out to us. But Colours, I'm pretty sure they got their own things going on there. But shout out to Colours though, innit? They've definitely put people onto a lot of people. But yeah, I do wish it kind of stuck to the niche aspect, because similar to what, I don't know, SBTV used to be, it's like, oh, I've never heard this person before, let me check them out. But it seems like they're losing that a little bit. But you gotta make money in a Panasonic, isn't it? So here's what it is.
Yeah. Talk to me about our Spotlight series.
Oh, Same Beauty. Weird name though, but fuck it.
I don't know where that came from.
Yeah, really, I really would love to know where that title came from, because it's like, is that like, sounds like a place, isn't it? Like, very, very weird. But Same Beauty, yeah, the Atlanta duo, they're pretty cool. I actually think they're really good. I think they have so much potential, and I know I sound like I'm riding high, but a little bit, to be honest, like a little bit, because when I heard them, their debut album came out 2018. Yeah, like I don't know, like I think there's a couple songs where it's like, wow, like this is so Borders, of course, we put that on our Spotlight series. Great song. Stone Mountain, really, really good song. I really like Not Discuss It. I know we had Ties as one of our other songs. Deontay Hitchcock, fucking sick. Probably talk about him next week. But yeah, I think there's songs here and there where it's like, wow, there's like a lot of potential going on here. You know, and it's like, okay, I'm not gonna say that it formulated throughout the whole record, but it's enough for me to believe in them, be like, okay, if you guys sat down, maybe had like a big budget and, you know, came again,
had some real direction there, I think.
Yeah, I think it would be a fucking sick record.
Yeah, I agree. You can definitely see, because I think we mentioned it on the spotlight, that there's history there with like Janelle Monáe, and you can kind of see that in elements of their album, right? You can kind of see those, whether it's like kind of vocal like tones, you're like, that's kind of, you know, Janelle. It's
kind of like Janelle Monáe,
thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's definitely potential. You're right. So
yeah, even in songwriting as well.
Next project will definitely be something to look out for.
Yeah, for sure. Like, again, just to go back to Borders, because I think it's the best song on the record. But just the way, again, kind of like, it sounds like they're just talking about like driving at night, and you know, it's like, wait, they're talking about a relationship. Kind of like that's something you know when they would do. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just that element to it. Like, it's really clever, and to have that level of artistry kind of early on, it gives me faith that okay, they're gonna progress on that. And yeah, just a couple of things. I think there's two things to this, right? With Saint Beauty, like, I think the reason why probably a lot of people haven't heard of them is obviously look what else happened in 2018 was Chloe and Haddi's debut album, and obviously Beyonce. You can't beat Beyonce, right? So I think I don't think anyone's really going to give them the time of day when a similar duo that fits a similar niche is doing the same work and it's bigger. So I think that's another thing. And two, ever since then, they haven't dropped shit. Like, they haven't dropped a single thing. I thought they broke up for a moment. I was like, why haven't they dropped anything? And I was getting really worried, and I had to like scour the internet. Like, okay, are they dropping another record? And they are dropping another record. I think one of the producers was in the studio with them. It's like, when you guys hear it, it's gonna blow your minds. I was like, okay. And they've done features here and there. Yeah. I think they were on the Dreamville track, PTSD, as we mentioned. Yeah. What do you think of that song?
Very slightly. Yeah, I mean, they didn't have a huge role on it, but it was enough of a what's the word?
Presence.
It was enough of a presence on it to kind of pique your interest and be like, you know, who's this?
Yeah,
especially if you're not familiar with them. Yeah, so enough for you to kind of click the Spotify link and be like, oh, who's this?
Yeah.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah, and obviously they were on Deontay's Hitchcock's album with Miguel. Oof. What a performance. What do you think about that? What a performance.
Yes. Yeah, you sent me that album. I'm a big fan. Big fan.
So
the JID feature on it as well.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, Atlanta's got talent in it, so
it does.
Yeah, I'm putting my chips in on this one. I'm betting low. But I think it's worth the risk, to be honest. So yeah, so check her out. The 3 songs that we have, so Tides, Borders, Stone Mountain. Find it on our Spotlight series on Spotify. So search the Vinyl Collective. Right there, you'll see our Spotlight series with our other artists on our Spotlight series. Whilst you're there, subscribe to the Vinyl Collective. You know, got a lot of subscribers at the moment. So yeah, shout out to you guys. You know, tell a friend. You know, appreciate the support.
Leave us a review if you're on
Apple,
any of the Apple podcasts. So I think maybe Google as well. You can do that. If you're listening on YouTube, then feel free to leave us a comment. We appreciate any kind of
currently at 5 stars. We don't appreciate if you give us less than 5 stars. Don't ruin the trend.
No, so don't do that.
Yeah. So right, you know what, John? I know the people are waiting for this one. It's been a long time coming for this episode. So you know what? Let's take a pause here and let's kick it off.
Let's do it.
You ready? Cool.
Yep.
Let's do it. Right, we're back. It's a long time coming, John, isn't it? Long time coming.
It has been.
But, you know, like we said, we want to do this right, and we're not like those plebs. It's like, you know, just instantly react. When I was going to say album. They almost got me. Not an album. When a project comes out. But, you know, we thought we're going to need some help when doing this one, aren't we, John? So we brought...
It's true.
Yeah, you know, we brought someone, you know, to give like what would you say, John? Like a feminine perspective.
I think given the context of the album, like... someone who the album was probably written for, like it wasn't written for me. It wasn't written for Top 8.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I guess to understand it properly, it makes sense to bring someone in. Yeah. So
hello.
Yeah. It's great intro. So like, how long am I gonna wait?
She's like, how long is this intro going?
But yeah, we're joined by Thandie. Work as part of Nine Bills. We're going to speak about that a little bit more.
Yes.
But also a fan of Azealia Banks, if you get that reference.
Yeah.
But,
How did you know that? Oh my gosh, I've only just got it. How rude. Do you know what? Everyone who I've met recently, that's all they say to me. That's all. How many of you people saw that video?
I think a lot of people saw that, mate. That was fucking hilarious.
I saw it.
Yeah, it's a pretty good video, mate.
Do you know what's awful? These guys did not even tell me they'd seen it. We've just had a whole 10 minutes having a conversation and nobody mentioned it. And they came in with a shot to attack me. Okay.
That's what we do. But yeah, so in terms of Nine Bills, like you do a lot of like hosting and interviews and stuff like that. So why don't you give the listeners a bit more description of your role within the Nine Bills?
Okay, so for Nine Bills, I am an editor.
Yeah.
So I kind of get all the content out, all the articles. I look over the articles, make sure they're speaking spam, and kind of just keep to our Nine Bills language. We are basically a UK music and culture website, blog. We have our Twitter page and we have our Instagram page. And we basically just give you updates on new music every Friday. We have a cool playlist, a range of playlists anyway. So check them out. They're on Spotify. And I do some interview segments. It's called Thandie Talks.
Yeah.
It actually started this time last year. We're coming to a year with my young child. And I think the whole point of it was I was trying to get people like underrated UK artists and kind of give people like 9 things you should probably know about them if you didn't already know. And I think it's gone well. In January we had Gabsy on there. He was cool.
Oh yeah.
Gabsy's album is, it's his EP. It's quite good, so I give that one a listen. We've had La Vida Loca, Shea Universe, just a whole bunch of cool powerhouses who were basically flying the flag for the UK at the moment. So, and then on the side I freelance, but that's a different story.
Fair. Yeah. Okay, so in terms of like, 'cause I know you guys used to like run like a lot of events like when the world was wild and free, but obviously now we can't do that shit anymore. So instead of asking like the typical question of, oh, how do you find not being able to do that, obviously it's gonna suck, but in terms of like adapting to the current situation, are there anything like that people can like look forward to in terms of like a virtual kind of event to kind of get people together?
We hadn't actually thought of that, but maybe that might just be
that's a great
what
idea.
we then have to consider, I guess. They
look like good times, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, they're loads of fun. Drinks, nice people, good vibes. Yeah, it's just fun, and we always get some like great DJs who have a great selection of music. They're good, and we have a photo booth as well. So who doesn't love a photo booth?
It's true. I've actually never been part of a photo booth. Maybe that's not cool enough. I don't know.
You?
For Nine Bills party, that's why.
You went to Nottingham, Tope, surely?
What photo booth was in Notts?
I feel like on almost every either night out or what is it, like the end of term, what is it, you went to Halls?
We went to different clubs, mate. We went to different clubs, John. There was no
that's shameful.
Actually no, tell a lie, there was a photo booth at one club I went to like in first year, but
obviously
I was just very conscious of like my pictures just being in a random like album on Facebook. I was like, I don't want that. So I just never took part of those.
My picture might be in a few random albums. Are we talking about university?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, exactly. You look back and like fucking hell, mate. Yeah.
And at the time, it's such a good idea as well. Like, stumble over, you were like,
100%. I dressed up today for it. Come on.
Yeah. Just everything looks great except for the fact that you're not factoring in like you're drunk out of your mind and you're just not gonna look as you think on picture. Too many bits like that. So I was like, no, I'm not doing those like candid shots or anything like that. So yeah.
Yeah, I feel like when we kind of like have guests on, it's always interesting to like ask them kind of like what their music journey is, or like maybe artists or like an era that you kind of got into music and knew that like you were listening to it more intently than the average person. So yeah,
Okay, so for me, my love for music kind of started, it came from my dad really. My dad used to play a whole bunch of different hip hop records, but he's actually like a jazz fan. So he had this great amount of taste in what he was listening to. My brothers, I have older brothers, and I feel like when you have older siblings, they kind of really shape your music taste. And they were equally like big. This is the era when MTV was getting like hot and popping. You'd see MJ on there. You'd see like, and then we moved into like the MTV bases. And then when I moved to this country, because I'm Zimbabwean, there was Channel U. Now, if anyone remembers Channel U, Channel U was popping. It's made a lot of like the big artists we have today, the producers, etc. So I kind of grew up on Channel U and MTV base. And for those who follow me on Twitter, know I'm a bit of a Jay-Z stan. Just a bit.
Nice.
Just a bit of a Jay-Z stan. And there's nothing you can't tell me and I don't know about the artist that I stan. But at the same time, I obviously love hip hop, UK music, but R&B for me is the blueprint. It's just a blueprint for
Blueprint
everything.
what exactly?
It's a blue. Okay, here we go. No, it's a blueprint for all these great genres. People sing, you know, and the thing about R&B is it's just a category, well, a genre anyway, where it's got so many little branches. Think of it as a massive tree with so many like branches coming off it. You have neo soul, you have classic R&B, you have modern R&B. Do you know what I mean? And you know, I just love the genre. That's my thing. But I love hip hop as well.
Fair.
It's a close tie.
I think these days they're quite. I think we mentioned it on the last episode we have with Junior, where it feels like they're quite closely related these days. Where like you kind of that production that's used, and even like hip hop artists featuring R&B songs way more, and R&B artists featuring like hip hop songs because the sound kind of just fits both of them quite well. Would you agree with that?
I would agree with that, and I think both categories, both genres, hip hop and R&B, are, if you find a good hip hop track, for example, Outkast, oh my gosh, I'm going to pronounce this wrong. Super.
I can't pronounce it. Go for it.
Yeah.
Let me
not butcher it. Let me that album. That is hip hop. I'm a big Outkast fan. That's hip hop, yeah. But that sample is a 70s song. Yeah. And then the recent sample has been from Beyonce, All Night Long. And so, you know, these are all these genres just amalgamating, but still producing great music. And that's why they are the best two genres ever.
Fair.
Right. That's a good case.
That is a good case. Yeah, it does. That was nice. But actually, before we kind of like get more into it, I just want to know, since you mentioned it, what is like your favorite Jay-Z record then?
Record, I can't say because it kind of changes. But
which ones are fighting for the top spot then?
Can I do albums?
Yeah.
Can we do albums? Yeah, let's do albums. Okay. So in my top 3 is the Black Album. This is in no particular order. The Black Album, I'd say Reasonable Doubt, and very recently I've started showing a bit more love to 444. Yes. But as well, Kingdom Come is very underrated.
I agree.
Very underrated. And then the contender between those two, which people actually forget has got bangers, is the American Gangster album.
I like her, John. I like her a lot, John. Like, she's just saying all the right things. She's also just hitting all the notes. I just want to speak on the Kingdom Come one as well, because people shit on that album so much. Like, it hasn't got Show Me What You Got on it. It hasn't got Hollywood on it. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, Drake wishes he could do shit like this. Like, you know what it is? Just to draw him out, because I know he's gonna listen to this. Like, Six Pads was kind of rating the Jay-Z albums the other day.
Oh my gosh.
And he was talking about how Blueprint 3 was shit. He was talking about how Blueprint 2 was all right. I was like, out all the records, you're judging Blueprint 2 as a
Blueprint
good one.
2, between me and you.
Yeah, exactly. So I was like, this guy doesn't know what he's on about, mate. Like, no, Jay-Z, like, people act like he's only had like a few good albums, but he's a pretty consistent guy. Well, go on, John. I can see your face. What are you saying?
No lies have been told. I
Yeah.
agree. Yeah. I think,
I
yeah,
also
for
think
Reasonable Doubt.
you've
But
got to remember with Kingdom Come. Sorry, John, did I just cut you off?
no, I just said
Right.
Reasonable Doubt, 100%.
Yeah,
Yeah,
100%.
of course. The debut is always good, but I think with Kingdom Come, it was a time when, obviously, with the Black album, Jay-Z had released Fade to Black. If you've never watched Fade to Black, it's when Jay-Z was basically like, I'm gonna retire, and he did the final concert for Madison Square Garden. With that whole thing, it was people. I think a lot of people thought, right, Jay-Z's out. This is a new era.
Yeah.
I could kind of take the spot, and so there was this whole, this whole thing where, he was going through a lot. He just lost his nephew. I think there's a reference to like him breaking up with Beyonce for a bit when he's come back. And it's changing times, isn't it? Like at the time we had T-Pain, he was doing auto-tune. It was a whole different rap game.
50 Cent was coming out. The Game was coming out.
Yeah. It was a whole different rap game. And some people were either going to respect a legend, or they were going to be like, let's go, old man, let's go butt to head to head.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he kept his head afloat, because I think with Jay-Z, he'll always have a solid fan base. So there'll never be anyone who's going to shit on anything that he's done. Sorry to swear.
I mean, you could do all that swearing in this show.
So that's my case, guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Just for the sake of argument, kind of in the intro, we mentioned the whole Nas Jay-Z thing, and how, Jay-Z is always going to have a song to release whenever Nas does. What's your take on that? Is it just coincidence? Is it that Nas is in fact doing what everyone's accusing Jay-Z of, or should we all just shut up and enjoy the music?
I think if you are a Jay-Z fan, you will be very much aware that Jay-Z is a bastard, and he has screwed over a lot of people. And I think if he's messing with Nas, it's pretty funny. But I have no way to kind of comment on that. I don't really, I'm not in the same room as them, but could be a coincidence, could be just.
Definitely not a fucking coincidence, man. He's just petty as shit, but I love it. Yeah, he's just petty as hell. So yeah, no, I think it's obviously like as I mentioned before, I think it's just like it's like a low key, it's like a backhanded form of respect. It's like, yeah, I don't like you, so I'm gonna ruin your release date, but you're the only person I'm competing with at this point, so it's like fair enough, to be honest. So,
yeah, I definitely think it's they've both got a mutual respect for each other at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, still petty, but whatever. So, right, yeah, to kind of let's transition in. Yeah, let's get into it. So, yeah, so people, I don't know how much you know, Thandie, but like a lot of people have been asking for this Heaux Tales review, because there was an episode. I can't remember what episode it was, John. It might have been episode 7. I think it was the Mia Brave one or something like that. Yeah, something like that. January. And I had a lot of like bold opinions about the Heaux Tales EP.
Tope?
Shut the fuck up. Anyways, yeah, and then we got so many like messages from friends and stuff like that. Like, what? Like people thought I was like shit on this record like hard. So I was like, you know what? John's like, you know what? We should like review this. Let's talk it out. So first and foremost, what are like your original thoughts about Jazmine Sullivan? Is she someone that you kind of followed back in the day, or is she someone you kind of like listened to more recently?
Yeah, I love Jazmine Sullivan ever since I bust the windows out your car. I mean, her vocals, oh my goodness, like crazy, that woman can sing. And very recently I saw a clip of her when she was quite young, and it was her singing, and I was like, oh my gosh, like she's talented, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And as years have gone on and on, you get a few quakes and stuff from people's vocals, but she has just been impeccable throughout. And I cannot not give her like accolades and flowers for how talented she is. She's done features on, the Insecure album.
Yeah, we really love that
song. Golding album. She's doing her thing. And then Heaux Tales. Wow.
John, thoughts?
John?
Thoughts on Jazmine generally?
Yeah.
Brilliant artist. Yeah, I think I first came across her with was it 2015? So
reality
show.
show. Yeah.
Yeah, that's when I first like just like heard her in real time. Yeah, loved it. Then kind of just went back. Yeah, songs like Bust Your Windows, big energy songs.
Yeah.
And then yeah, just kind of kept tabs. And then when this came out, obviously there's a lot of kind of discussions that come from it, and like vocally, I'm sure we'll get into it again. I think vocally, like she's on this project, she's shown she's her most diverse vocally on this, 100%. And we can get into more specifics, but like yeah, vocally I think on this album, although they're obviously it's broken up with skits and interludes and stuff, like she shows range in this album. Like she does it all. So Toppy, I know you're itching.
No, I'm not itching. I'm just listening. But yeah, no, I mean, what's not to like about Jazmine Sullivan, right? I mean, you know me, I always big up my UK singers because I think they're still like top tier. But in terms of like what's going on across the Atlantic, like Jazmine Sullivan is one of the best they have. So do you know what I mean? Like you got like Beyonce, Jazmine Sullivan, and after that there's like a whole tier kind of missing. Do you know what I mean? Like Jazmine Sullivan's been doing this for a long time. Like she's just like a prodigy in this thing, like she's I think everyone knows that. So it's one of those like known quantities, so people don't speak about it that much. It's like Jazmine Sullivan, like what else is there really to say? Do you know what I mean? But I think it was quite weird because she took like such a long break between reality show and now. I think she almost gave up on music for a while, which was quite strange. So like it's kind of weird, like when you don't see things from an artist's perspective. I think she was losing faith in her music. It's like, do you know who the fuck you are? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, what's going on? But do you know what I mean? But I guess these things happen. So yeah. So when she said she was dropping this project, I was a bit disappointed that she didn't kind of come out with an album. It's been like what, almost 6 years now. So I was like, okay, cool. Like she's gonna just come back with all this like material that's been lying around, but we get like a EP. So I can't say I was like super stoked about it, especially with the amount of fucking skits on here, which we'll get into. So it's like, I was like, okay, like, you know what I mean? Like you kind of, I mean, for like, if you kind of cut down the skits, we've really gotten like what, 15 or so minutes of music. So it's like, damn, for 6 years, like really gonna do this like that?
Yeah.
So,
she said, like this. I know you mentioned the 6-year break. Like she said in quite a few interviews how she had serious writer's block, and just kind of like, what's the word? Just like creative block. In just so many ways that she kind of just lost all confidence in writing, in knowing what direction to take her music. And she said she like settled on the idea of an EP because it took, I think she said something like it took the stress off and like the anxiety of like having to create a studio album. She thought EP, there's going to be less expectation. I'm going to do this kind of like concept and just do a concept EP. Yeah.
Do you think it went that way? I don't know if it did.
In what sense?
Like in terms of taking the pressure off, I think everyone's gonna go on Spotify. It's gonna say album 2021. It's like, all right, it's an album. Then I don't think anyone's gonna go on a Twitter and be like, oh, actually, it's an EP. And I think that's my problem with wording that way, because you're gonna still get revenue and streams the same way if it was an album. I don't know.
Yeah. What about you, Thandie? Are you invested in the whole album EP thing?
Okay, I'm gonna first say, in light of you now telling me that she said that she had writer's block, I'm going to respectfully say Jazmine Sullivan does not owe you shit. Okay? She doesn't owe you shit. However, I definitely agree with you in terms of the skits and the interludes. It did kind of, for me, I was quite shocked because when I first listen to it, I put my AirPods in, I start to cook, and normally I don't really manage to get through like a whole album because albums tend to be long. So it did literally just, cut off 15 minutes in. However, those 15 songs, including the features, were enough.
Okay, cool. So actually, let's get into it. So I actually wanted to start off with the skits first and foremost, because I feel like that's the major part of the album that myself and John won't necessarily kind of relate to. So yeah,
that is true. Yeah,
it's true. So I think from what I've kind of been reading on like discussion forums and stuff like that, people were kind of saying like, oh, you know, Jazmine Sullivan is kind of letting out like locker room talk, but for the ladies, like things that you know, ladies kind of talk about, but they don't really kind of discuss out and open. Do you kind of agree with that, Thandie? Is that what you kind of get from the skits?
Yeah, I definitely got every time I was listening to it, I was definitely like, yes, bitch. I was like, I totally agree. I get you. You're my girl. They're definitely conversations I've had with my own girls, like the group chat, etc. But you know, she's just said the truth, to be fair. I'm pretty much sure she said some stuff that you guys already knew girls were saying.
Fair. I mean,
yeah. But she hasn't given it all out.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
that means it's the Heaux Tales too.
Yeah. Like a dark assignment. Like, what's going on?
She hasn't given it all out, but yeah.
But was there a skit that kind of stood out to you? Because obviously there's a lot of ones that are kind of talking about like not being like these IG models, or you know, kind of being digmatized, or you know, not settling with a man that has no money, or kind of using like your like sex as kind of like a means to like gain something from like your man and stuff like that, like all these sorts of themes. Like, was there any kind of like kind of stood out to you, like, oh right, like I've never seen it worded that way or anything like that?
I'll definitely say in terms of I haven't seen it being worded that way. I haven't seen an R&B artist kind of come out and put it on her thing since Scissor Control.
Fair.
But Scissor Control came out. This is a very grown woman album. Let's talk about that. It's a very grown woman album. When I was listening to Scissor Control, she was talking about her 20-somethings. It is called Control, isn't it?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. It was when I was in university, I was 19, and it kind of fitted with that narrative. But with this Scissor album, I mean, not with the Scissor album, with the Jazmine Sullivan album, it's now on a grown woman tip. Do you know what I mean? And so all the skits they were hilarious. At least one of them or two were relatable for one girl, 1 in 5 girls. Do you know what I mean? So I feel like it added, you know, content to what she was saying and entertainment. That's my answer.
Fair thoughts, John?
Yeah. No, I definitely agree with that. I think the Grown Woman album is definitely something to pick up on. Like, I'm good like I was mentioning before with the vocals, like that was a big thing for me. Like something she didn't really do on reality show that much. She didn't really like use her like lower register at all. And she does that like on quite a few songs here. I think she does it on the Anderson .Paak song, Price Tags, and on a later song as well. And she just like discovers this kind of new bit to her voice that she hasn't used as much before, which I think just shows like the whole like rounded individual she's become, because she's 33 now, right? So as Top A loves this. I don't know whether you feel like I'm outing him. Third prime, Top A says, is when you hit your 30s. She's come into her third prime in life. She's discovered this new bit of her voice. But yeah, the skits, I thought, obviously like you've got a song for every skit, and the song kind of like expands on whatever the particular
previous skit was.
So I did like that. I like that the concept works. It's not that there are just random interludes thrown in. So I wonder, I'm going to ask Tope, I wonder what you didn't like about the skits or the interludes.
Actually, there's 2 songs that don't have skits. So obviously Bodies doesn't have a skit, because I think that's because it's literally her. I'm just going to assume that. And On It with Ari Lennox doesn't have a skit. Those are the 2 songs that don't have skits. So I thought that was a bit, so I kind of felt like, okay, I thought like that was a slight misplacement in terms of track listing. It kind of seemed like obviously Ari Lennox is popping right now, so slap down the EP, but whatever, I can take that. I think with the skits, right, I think for me it takes from the songs a little bit, because it kind of gives it to you on a silver platter what the song's about. So you don't really have to do much work when listening to the songs and be like, oh, rah, she's kind of like, I feel like there was a way where she could have done this in maybe fewer skits or even no skits, where she kind of sprinkles it everywhere and you can kind of figure it out on your own, like, oh my gosh, she's actually talking about different female perspectives and all that stuff. But I feel like all the things that's talked about in the skits kind of like she doesn't really expand on those ideas much in the songs. Whereas if you didn't have the skits, you wouldn't kind of have that like
Do you feel that way
yeah.
about Good Kid, Mad City?
No, those are really fucking good skits. I think the reason I don't feel that way about that, I see what you're doing there, but the reason I don't feel that way is because it's not like he's regurgitating what is on the skits. The skits are kind of they're more transition skits, whereas I think these ones are more like explanation skits. It's kind of like she wants to kind of, it's like she's putting a disclaimer like, this is not about me, guys. Whereas like you could have got into that conclusion with the songs itself. I think there was one skit that kind of annoyed me where this woman just kept on saying she's right about it. Like, what skit was that? Like, it was Bear Jar. I can't remember which one. I think it was one before Price Tag. She just kept saying it over and over. Like,
Donna's Tale, right?
Yeah, I was like, fuck, you know. I was like, she right about it. I was like, all right. Like, that's the one that kind of like really annoyed me.
Listen, but stay out of women's business. Okay. Stay out of women's business.
No, obviously I support Jazmine, yeah. But yeah, I think all the other skits, I think for what they serve, it's all right. Like I think some of them were quite interesting kind of talk. I think the ones near the back end, like talking about, I think I can't remember the name of it, the one where she's kind of talking about she can't be like these girls on IG, or the one where the girls have said like she cheated and just doesn't know why. It's just fucking
Rashida's Tale, right?
Yeah.
The one where she cheats on her fiance.
Wild, yeah. But it's like, you know what, fair enough. That's just, it's real, isn't it? Like, whatever. I think those were more interesting.
Really mad.
It's men's, me. Like what? Like, yeah. If I was Rashida's ex, I would not be pleased about that skit, mate. Like, we always say this, John. You can't date R&B artists. Like, it's just too much. But
you can't date rappers or R&B artists because they make a living off emotions.
It's true, and they're gonna start talking about. You're gonna start doing up timelines. Like, is this girl from his past or is it right now? Like, what's going on?
I get to add to that. Apparently, Jazmine Sullivan. So she's been in a relationship for 3 years now. And her like current partner, he actually like helped with the album process, like arranging some of the songs and stuff. So
strong
you guys not believe? Okay, so say here's a scenario, right? Okay.
Is this for both of us?
You want to make for the both of you. You guys are rappers or singers. You guys can be R&B singers. Let's say you're R&B singers. You're a duo.
Okay.
And nice. You guys want to make a song which is basically the new Big Pimpin'. We all know that song. Yeah. Never heard, keeping it looking good, but yeah. Disgusting, filthy.
Yeah, love it.
You're in the studio, you're recording it. You've got your girlfriends there, yeah. Your girlfriends are in the studio now, and they're like, "Oh, babe, I think for that line you should add." And she says a madness. You're gonna feel something other way. But it's like it really fits on the tongue, but she says a madness, and you're like, "Why? Where's that come from?"
you know, it's one of those ones where it's like we'll discuss it when we get home. I'll be like, okay, I'll take it. But it's like, what's going on here? Like, where did that come from? Like, you know that meme where that guy's like, what do you mean by that? Like, what did that mean? Do you know what I'm talking about? Like, yeah.
That guy's too funny. That guy's too funny.
No, we'll talk about that later because I absolutely love that guy. I think he's so funny.
But yeah, like I think I'll take it, but then I feel like in the back of my mind, I'll just be looking at her while I'm rapping. I'll be doing the, when Jay's talking about, never cuffed them all that. I'll just be looking like, I'll be out of sorts. Like, what's going on? I don't know about you, John. What do you think?
I agree. I think it's different with this album because she's talking about a scenario from like years ago. Like she said she was in a really toxic relationship, like I think maybe like 2012, 13 era.
Okay.
And like after getting out of it is where she feels she went through a lot of these kind of like cycles of like just living life and like discovering things.
Going through her hoe phase, say it.
Going through her hoe phase, just hoeing.
Don't you have to do all of that. Come
on. So I feel like, if you're feeling like, oh, it's weird that, I don't know, I think it's actually cool that her partner is like confident enough to be like,
I think so.
Support the album process.
I agree. Any partner who's willing to help you write a song, I think that's beautiful.
I mean, Yeah, no, 100%. No, I'm maybe not showing it, but it's just like it can't be any stories I've never heard of. I can't just be finding out about stories on wax. That's just wild. But if there's anything like I know about and we discussed, then yeah, I guess that's fine. But whatever. But anyways, let's get into the songs. So the song, the EP, not album, again. The EP kind of starts off with bodies, and again, I think this is the one where it's more akin to her experience, like similar to what you said, John. So what do you think of this intro, Thandie?
Gotta stop getting fucked up.
Yeah.
How did I have in my cup?
Vocals, come on.
Yeah, go on.
No,
Exclusive.
she is like, okay, she's woke up. She's like, what the hell's going on? Me and the girls just drinking. It's relatable. Not for me personally.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure there's some people who could, relate and be like, oh, so finally someone who's gonna sing about it and it not be like
in a shamey way.
Yeah, like we've all been there. Some of us. Some of us. I think it's a great intro, especially for an album. It's poignant, gets the point across, sets the theme, solid. Yeah.
I agree. Yeah, I think it's a perfect intro. It's like that moment of like self-awareness where she's like, okay, I've got myself into some shit here.
Yeah.
Right. How am I going to figure this out? I think as well, I've like seen in a few different kind of reviews and stuff, people saying that the song is perfectly placed, because I think if she had this song where she's just talking about her own experience somewhere in the middle of the album, it might have been kind of glossed over.
Yeah. Fair.
So it's good to have that right at the beginning to like set the scene, like contextualize that it's her story, although she's telling all these different tales. Like the like bookends are like her own experiences. So in that sense, I think it works really well.
Yeah, no, 100% agree. I think for me, this is probably my favorite song on the record, which sounds kind of bad, right? Because you don't want the best song to be the first one, but I just, similar to what Thandie said, it's so poignant. Like the fact she keeps on like reiterating, like, what I have in my car, I've still got to stop getting fucked up. It kind of adds to that theme of what she's talking about. Like, yeah, really fucking good intro. I mean, what she talking about? Like, I thought something that was really funny was when she was talking about was he a 4, was he a 10, was he a friend or a friend or a friend? Like, I thought it was pretty funny, but still kind of like keeping it quite serious. And it's interesting that you said, Thandie, like she's not kind of being like preachy or shamey about it, because quite on topic, obviously Lauryn Hill's Miseducation went diamond like today, right? And the one song she does get a lot of rap about is doo-wop, that thing, right? Because when she's talking to women, being like, you're a gem, you don't have to fucking around with all these guys all the time, and people thought that was really, really preachy. Do you kind of see it that way?
Do I see doo-wop as quite preaching?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, when Miss Lauren is talking about hair done by nails by Koreans, I'm gonna be like, but they're so nice. My nails are so nice. But yeah, big respect to her, I guess. That's her ethics, that's her ethos. Who am I to tell? It's a great body of work. Miseducation. To Zion's my favorite song. But at the same time, girls come in all flavors, and
true.
Yeah, Miss Lauryn Hill's, that's her thoughts, and yeah, I guess.
Yeah, fair. And then we move on to track 2. I'm going to skip the skits for this one. So yeah, track 2.
Okay.
Be able to pick up your feelings. John, to kick us off with that one.
Yeah, like it's a good. It had kind of everything you own in a box to the left type vibe.
Yes, yes, big agree.
Yeah,
yeah, just like telling the guy to kicking him out after kind of finding out that he was cheating. So yeah, I thought it was quite obviously like after that moment of like realization in the first song, just realizing that she doesn't need this guy. She's like she's run out of chances of forgiving, just for you to go like break my heart again. Yeah. What about you two? What were your feelings on this song?
Me, T.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
I probably say T as well. I think you said you
Yeah,
too. Yeah.
yeah, I definitely agree with you. I think it's very theatrical, that song.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, it's theatrical. Almost makes you kind of, as you said, yeah, very much Beyonce to the left vibes. Great tune. Not my favorite, but decent song.
Yeah, people love the bridge though when she's like when she does the final chorus. I'm not even gonna try and attempt it, but yeah, everyone loves that part, right? Like, yeah, no, I think in terms of vocal performance, similar to most songs on this record, I think the vocal performances never lack. Like, I think this is like probably one of the best displays of that actually.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know how well it ties into the skit before, because obviously like the skit before was kind of talking about like ownership of self and like, you know, we're saying the pussy's there, so nationality is ours and stuff like that. But actually, in a sense, actually, yeah, it's quite an empowering song in terms of like, yeah, pick up your feelings. Like, I'm not dealing with your shit anymore. But yeah, I kind of agree. Like, it's not. I think following from Bodies, which I think is like really good, it didn't hit the same way. Whereas I think if Put It Down, the next song after this, if this came right after, I don't know, maybe I feel differently. But yeah.
Yeah.
Then we move on to let's talk about the skit. Come on, Ari's Tale.
Oh yeah.
Who wants to kick me off?
Kick yourself off of it.
Kick us off.
Yeah.
Yeah. Women are just like men in this one. It's like they have the same, needs, kind of encounter the same kind of like pitfalls. Sex makes you do crazy shit. And like, but yeah, like that's, I guess, Ari's like, what was it, like an Instagram live she did, or I can't remember what she did. There was a really long kind of like live video she did where they've taken the segment from.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
That's how
I
they
think
did
so,
their debut
yeah.
album. Yeah, they took
Yeah.
so H.E.R. Babies, like all the skits in H.E.R. Baby are like snippets from her IG lives that the Dreamville manager Eve kind of took and gave to her, and she just kind of put into the album. So yeah, that was quite interesting.
Yeah, it's like a full like 12-minute video. I mean, Ari Lennox is hilarious, so it's always good fun to watch. But yeah, she's just kind of like, it makes you put up with stuff that you wouldn't normally. And yeah, did you guys take anything else from it? Or
yeah, I actually had a question. Actually, like, do you feel like this kind of, because again, another thing people are kind of talking about is like, I think someone said like R&B artists don't feel like they have the room to kind of discuss these things, which is quite surprising. But yeah, I was going to ask you, Thandie, do you feel like it's like this kind of side of like women is not kind of expressed enough in music?
Yeah, particularly in R&B. No, not too much. I mean, there are people who've been doing it for time. Jill Scott,
Yeah, of course.
There are people who are comfortable. I don't know if anyone's seen clips of, well, listen to any Jill Scott, Crown Royale.
Yeah.
Open, like,
sucking the mic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beyonce.
Yeah.
And would listen to a lot of her grown woman stuff, It's in that bag. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, I think a lot of people are doing it, and I think, as I said, we said before, there's different branches of R&B, and some people are willing to put it in kind of their sound because it suits their sound, and some people you would look at them sideways and be like, oh.
Yeah. you're not built for this.
Yeah. You know what I mean? We did kind of get a hint of it with Kehlani's last album, with a track called Water on that. If anyone's listened to Water, it should be steamy. It's a bit, so yeah, it's just, that's what it is.
It's good to see. I think, she says she was talking about like I think it was Cardi B and Lizzo and like Megan Thee Stallion and a lot of artists saying that like they made her want to be part of this movement with this project. She was like, kind of like women, I think she said, it made me want to be part of this movement where women are standing in their power. So I guess that's, part of what she's trying to do here.
We're literally living in post-WAP times.
That's the way to put it. Fair enough.
Post-WAP. You've coined the phrase.
Yeah, literally put up.
Post-WAP time.
Post-WAP time. Fair enough. That should be the title of the episode. Post-WAP times. Fair enough. But yeah, so it kind of moves on and they have Put It Down, which I think, yeah, this might be my second favorite as well. Like this song, I don't know if it's meant to be hilarious, but I find it really, really funny. Like all this kind of she's talking about, like, you know, he lives with his mum, but I treat him like a king. And obviously in America, that's the thing. But here it's like, of course I'm gonna do that.
Yeah.
Fucking rent's expensive. What are you talking about? Like, ain't none of us outside the house. But you know what I mean? But all this stuff we gotta talk about, like what's it called? She doesn't like the guy's mama, but you know, she keeps it low key and stuff like that. It's like, what the hell? Like, but I fully get that.
Relatable.
Go on, talk about it.
Everyone can do, right, okay. We're not I mean, like I feel like some people's mums are a bit.
I could agree with that. Yeah. I could agree with that. For sure. Yeah, she's kind of like literally just expressing all these things that, like, one song, like, yeah, I'm kind of like, she's aware it's bullshit, but you know what, I'll take it because at the end of the day, he gives me what I want. And it's just, yeah.
He said his dick is bomb, but his mum's a cunt. Fair play.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? So yeah, what are your thoughts on the song outside of that?
Me?
Yeah, you.
Oh, okay. I don't know why I keep missing my cue, guys. I'm sorry.
That's fine.
No, I think it's expressive. Again, not one of my favorites, but yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah.
I think give women the time to express how they feel, and we'll do it.
Yeah.
Cool. Moment of silence. Yeah. No, I agree. Yeah, I agree. Great. Like, good song as well. Probably top 2 or 3, I think, for me.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did anyone notice the part where she's kind of like rapping at J. Cole in the second verse? Did anyone else pick that up? It sounded very J. Cole-ish.
What was she doing?
Didn't it?
Yeah, see, you noticed it. If you're a listener,
I know where you're on it. Yeah.
Yeah, Luke, go back to the song if you're listening to stuff. So like the second verse, it's kind of like there's a bit of like a J. Cole.
I feel like we can't. Before I forget, I feel like we can't move on without saying out loud the line, "I pay his rent if he's nasty." But there we go.
Respect to her. What a queen.
Yeah. Yeah.
What a queen. she's a stunned silence. Like, I do not endorse that whatsoever. That's why it's not her favorite. She's like, I pay no one's rent.
Would you pay a girl's rent?
No.
Oof.
Oh, John, see, John, I thought you meant to be the good guy, John. I thought you were gonna say yes. That no came out too quick. I mean, if that's your girl, then maybe.
Whole rent. Is she working?
What, for 1 month? Yeah,
why isn't he? Well, I mean, I would, but I'd have to ask him a few questions.
Yeah, I mean, you got to do like a CRB check before.
Background check. CRB.
100%. Like, I mean, especially renting like London, like that's like a good grand.
I know.
Like,
that's what I mean.
Yeah, no.
Well, I think I could pay guys rent. I did. Yeah, I could do that.
You heard it here on Vinyl Collective.
But you know what, yeah, there was one song I really wanted to discuss because if we go through every fucking song and skit, it's gonna be a favorite. But there's one song that I do definitely need your opinion on, and obviously this is Price Tags with Anderson .Paak. Yeah. So there's been so much talk about some of Anderson .Paak's lyrics. So in particular, I mean, he was talking about when the girl, I think the girl wanted a baby, and then it came out darker than Samuel Jackson, Pulp Fiction, which is, it's funny, I'm not lying. That's a far, but it's funny. But yeah, then he's talking about his granddad is Indian, he's fucking up your lineage. Like, what were your thoughts surrounding those comments? Do you kind of see it like he's being like mad colorist?
No, I think it's absolutely hilarious. I think he bodied her on that entire, like, he really made that song himself. I think it's hilarious. It's stuff, as I said, it's stuff that happens. You know, if his lineage is Native American, then fair play. Do you know what I mean? Why has the baby come out looking like Samuel Jackson? You know what I mean? I do like the line where he's like, I'm starting to think you don't even have a job.
Yeah. And he was also talking about like, first you wanted to be like a nurse, now you want to like go to makeup school. It's like, what are you talking about?
No.
Oh man, Anderson never misses, man. Never.
He doesn't. I feel like as soon as the song started, like with the instrumental, you just knew it was like an Anderson song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it just had all the like, yeah.
funk,
don't know what it was.
jazz.
Yeah, just that like little
that
like
vibe in it.
that like rim shot with like yeah. I like that. What it had a there are a few lines where it's like, but if I get pinched based on suspicion, is he going to sing like Bobby in New Edition? That felt like, you know, the 50 Cent song, like 21 Questions.
Yeah.
Yeah, it felt like that. There were just like a few funny lines where he's like,
a lot of funny lines, mate. Yeah, he killed the whole verse, mate. Like
very, very,
very, very good verse. Very good verse.
Yeah. I think the whole idea around money was a cool concept that's going on in a few songs here about like it's not just like the role of money in relationships, I guess. And yeah, like it's not just guys that will go to like certain lengths to like, what am I trying to say here? Yeah, she's like I don't know, like exaggerating the like lengths that women will go to. Just
it's about like the other side, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I'm not really
side.
phrasing it very well.
Yeah. No, I kind of get what you mean. Go on, Thandie.
So the other side is actually my favorite song on the album.
Huh?
Yeah. Because guys, right? First of all, when I first listened to it, the intro to the other side is she's doing the ooh, and that sounds very kind of electronic, almost house.
Okay.
Yeah, it sounds as if her voice has been auto-tuned. And then we watch the tiny desk, and this woman is doing it from her vocals, but it's coming from like the neck. Like people who sing in it, like you'll know what I mean. Like it's somewhere like for someone who's really, really talented. So I really appreciate that bit. And when I was listening, I think this is the most relatable one for me. You know, I kept saying it's relatable. This one is the relatable one. Not necessarily because like I'm thinking I want to move to Atlanta and get a rapper, but more in the sense of I'm a freelancer, I've had my down days, and I've just been thinking, do you know what, if I had a fat ass, if I was to move to Atlanta and got me a rapper, I'd have all the Hermes Birkins, you know, I'd have, you know, the tennis bracelet that she mentioned. It's literally everything you're thinking when you're like, fuck this, why am I not using my looks as a woman to kind of get what I want? Not that I'm encouraging it, like, I mean, you in it, do you know what I mean? But yeah, it made sense to me, this one.
Are you saying like it's tempting in a sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you know how many times I've said during lockdown, why don't I just start an OnlyFans? If I was, it's a whole damn shame that I am too shy. Otherwise, maybe I'd have started an OnlyFans. Maybe no, probably not. But
John, any thoughts?
I'm not commenting on that. Do what you like. We support it. We support you.
No, but you see where I'm going with this.
No,
like,
I mean that's perspective.
You think of like scenarios and you're like, damn, like what if I should just do this? Do you know what I mean? And there are people who are making a lot of money from, you know, like you see all these rappers' girlfriends, and that's kind of who we're kind of calling our influencers at the moment. So I get it.
Yeah. I never saw it that way, to be fair. Go on, John.
Yeah, no, I was going to say there's definitely that element also of like just wanting to be like taken care of and just like sport in it, in the song, just like,
imagine having to do nothing for the rest of your life. I can't do that.
Sounds pretty sweet, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, maybe some people. But yeah, that's the thing. I think the idea of not having a purpose is just way more daunting than not having peace. Do you know what I mean? Because what else are you going to do? Like, nothing more, you just completed life. Like, no, fuck that. But no, literally, until you said that, I was going to kind of discredit that song. I was like, okay, it's basically price tags just done in a different outlook. I was like, they're kind of the same song. But I think the way you kind of said it, it's like, no, that makes complete sense to me, because you do see like every fucking day, like on like IG or Twitter, like people are making racks just because they have cheeks. Like, it sounds crazy. Like, obviously that's always kind of been the case, maybe because like you talk like Playboy magazine and stuff like that. But the way it is now, it's like literally I think I made a joke saying like a BBL is a good investment to your future if you are trying to be an influencer, because it actually is.
You are still paying off your student loans and your overdraft when all you have to do is show some cheeks, and maybe a little rapper will ride into your DMs. Maybe.
I can't hate on that. It's quite. I don't think guys have an avenue that's so it seems quite easy to kind of obtain, like, oh, if I just did this, then, because all the things that girls love guys for, pretty hard shit to do, to be honest. So yeah, no, I agree with you saying. Yeah.
Cool. Let's get on to the next song. Yeah.
I know a song you're not a big fan of. I think this would be a good one to talk about.
Who are you talking about? Me?
You.
Really?
Yeah. What, On It?
You start us off then.
Well, On It with Ari Lennox, one of the few features on this record. I thought this song was like a funny like duet. I feel like it's meant to not be taken seriously.
Yeah.
If you be honest, yeah. Like kind of it's over dramatic on purpose. It seems like, you know, sit on it like bare singing it out, like they're just fucking around. Like imagine Ari Lennox just being in the studio just singing to herself, and then Jazmine Sullivan just kind of joined in on the joke, and it just became a song. It gives you that type of vibe to it. But John, you're not a fan. You're not a fan. Why?
I didn't say that.
No.
I sent you a quote in a WhatsApp and was like,
your name.
Yeah, don't do that. I thought the story behind this is kind of funny as well. Like I think Ari, that's one thing that's really cool about the like Ari like Jazmine like relationship in this. Like it sounds like the way their vocals and melodies like lay over each other, it sounds like they're recording together, but obviously they didn't meet in person to record this. So that's one thing I really like on this song. Like Jazmine really like vocally performs, and they both work so well together, I think.
I think so.
Yeah, and obviously like so Ari Lennox like sent in her verses, and apparently there are a few lines here that Jazmine was like, she's not going to put this in, is she? And apparently she like eventually came around to it, but it felt a little bit like how's this going to go? I don't know how people are going to react to this. But I just find that like mental image a bit funny, like Ari Lennox sending these verses in and Jazmine being like, no, really? Ari being like, yeah, come on.
Yeah, it's like look at the EP you're making, mate. Like you should be all for this. Like, do you know what I mean? No, for sure. Like, I don't know. I think it's one of those songs where it's a shame. I feel like I like it more for the novelty rather than the actual song itself, which makes me not want to return to it all the time. Like if I'm kind of listening to this album, like rotational EP in rotation, it's like I could see myself skipping this one because it's like, like I feel like with me, I always like tie music to a setting, and it's like, what setting would I play this in? Not when I'm washing the dishes or going on a walk. Like it doesn't really fit that for me, but fair enough.
I think the song's a good pairing.
Yeah, it's a good pairing.
Ari Lennox's discography anyway is just full of songs where she describes sexual acts anyway, and she does it so well with a gorgeous voice. And Jazmine doing Heaux Tales, it just made sense to have Ari on the track. I actually didn't know that they recorded it separately, but as you did say, it does work quite well, just the both of them. Is it a song I would revisit? No, but it's not the worst song. It's great.
It's quite slow, isn't it, really? Like the Jazmine Sullivan like On It refrain is a bit like, don't know if lethargic's the words, so maybe that's why it's like,
you know, that's a word. What? Lethargic? Makes it sound really word. It makes it sound like it's a sleeper tune.
No, where she's like, I'm not going to sing it, but you know how the on it bit goes.
Yeah.
God. What?
Nothing good.
Anyway, I want to quickly circle back around to the fact that, so on the price tag song with unpack, why do you think she chose him specifically? Because obviously there's one song that there's a guy on in an album kind of predominantly about women's voices and women's experiences. Do you think he brought anything to it, or there was something maybe taken away?
I think he's quite an interesting person to bring into there. He seems, I've never actually thought about that, but he fitted quite well. And I think his verse was very funny, and it was his personality. I like to think maybe they know each other, and she just knows he was going to be the perfect person because he's just jokes. Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, I think the same way. I think it was just a banger, really. I think that's what it is. It almost seems like Anderson had the song first, I would think. It does kind of feel that way. Like the beat feels very Anderson. Everything just seems like, and maybe just dominated it that hard. But I don't know. It seems like, okay, Anderson had the song, Jazmine liked it, she kind of slotted herself in. to be honest. But you know, it is what it is. I mean, in terms of features, there's one more feature we haven't talked about, and that's with, you know, my neighborhood favorite, her. On the last song, it's A Girl Like Me.
Don't
So
hate, Tops. Just
I'm
have
not
one
hating.
episode free. Just have one episode.
I said my neighborhood favorite.
Cool.
I like her. She's a good singer. She's a good singer. Top fan. But yeah, Girl Like Me with her. Obviously, two. Actually, I forgot to put her in that. I see. I'm not even going to show her them right now. I was going to say I forgot to put her in that category of like really good American singers, right? So you have like Jazmine Sullivan, Beyonce. You got her as well. Like her is a really fucking good singer. So what do you think of her performance on this song, Thandie?
I think absolutely amazing again, and then seeing the NPR live was just
yeah.
Wow.
And they first released Girl Like Me, didn't they? And just amazing. That is actually, I keep saying this, maybe this one's my favorite. Maybe. But yeah, I rate this song. It's great, yeah. And again, you know, relatable. This was really for the girls. I don't know why you two are even in this conversation. Leave.
I mean,
We'll be back in 10. We'll be back in 10.
Yeah, back in 10. I mean, we have to, innit? We're the vinyl collective, innit? We've got to cover all our bases. But yeah.
Yeah. No, I think the pairing of them two worked so well. I think you're right. Like if you watch the Tiny Desk concert, you get it so much more because they can just like harmonize forever. And I think, just like another song where we haven't talked too much about like production and like instrumentals, but like the whole album is just like stripped back. And obviously it's just like guitars and vocals. I don't know if H.E.R does on the album version, but I'm pretty sure she plays the guitar for this.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah, big fan of guitar.
Yeah.
Even Lost One, I know we haven't talked about it too much, but that's like super stripped back. That's like the most stripped back song I've probably heard from Jazmine, maybe ever. Like it's so minimal. Do you know what I mean? I think the lyrics are very potent. I actually have a quote from one of my mates. I'm so sorry. Like I told I was gonna read this out, but it's so hilarious in regards to this song. Let me just get it quickly.
Who said this?
I can't reveal, but I said I'll read it out.
I thought I'd try.
So she said, when I heard Lost One, I planned a time where I could drive in the rain at night so that I could play that song because I felt it so much. I wanted to do my own music video. Does it give you that vibe?
Nice.
Sit down.
Yeah. It's like it didn't hit me like that, fam. But I was like, fair enough.
Do you not do that though? Do you not like wait till a moment where maybe this is just girls, but I like to pour myself a Merlot and really like take in the sadness.
This reminds me of when girls said they schedule times to cry. I was like, it doesn't really make sense. Like, what is going on? Like, my brain can't comprehend that shit.
Take the emotions in.
Yeah. But you know, I get kind of like there's a certain like weather or mood for certain songs, but I don't think I would like contrive it as much as that. It's like if it happens, it happens. You know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, John, what are your thoughts on Lost One?
I like it. Yeah, I'm a big fan. I think it's I think it's a nice way to like finish out the project, like in the same way that we talked about Bodies Into as being like a kind of separate from the whole like skit and then song expanding on it.
No, Lost One's
kind of felt.
Lost One's got a skit. It's the cheating girl skit.
Does it?
Oh,
yeah. Okay.
The don't have to much fun about me, all that good stuff.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Well,
trash.
There we go.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever.
The point I was trying to make before, and then I just kind of stumbled over my words, was like talking about the role of money in relationships. And I thought the point of Anderson .Paak being in that song was that they were talking about something that's both relatable to like men and women, and that's like throwing. In the case that like Anderson .Paak was talking, like throwing money at like a relationship to like stem the problems. Like he says, I'd rather get a purse than deal with the heartburn. And obviously in the earlier songs when she's saying like she'd pay rent for this. So yeah, like it's kind of, I know the album's for women generally speaking, but there's kind of that interesting moment where there's a guy singing on it and they're like both relating to something that men and women do in relationships.
Yeah.
I have a quick
I don't know,
question
did
in
you
regards to
guys
that.
go on?
Yeah. So when you said that, I kind of remind me of FK Twigs's album where Future's the only feature, and he kind of plays that male point of view. Do you kind of see it in that similar way? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, he kind of, because in the feature there, he's talking about isn't he kind of like feeling bad about like all the wrong he's done and
Yeah,
stuff?
exactly.
You know,
Yeah,
I
and
don't
it's
know,
right in the middle of that
believe
record
him,
as well.
but
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I kind of see what you're saying. I kind of see it in
yeah.
that way. Yeah, yeah. Any other general thoughts on the record? Is there any bases we haven't touched yet?
Ooh,
I'll definitely agree with it, like, you know, providing two perspectives from a male and female around the whole money thing, because that's a massive debate, isn't it? So, and I think they made it funny. I
Yeah.
think to conclude this, not so much album, so let's say project, works of favourite, it's funny, it's comedic, it's real, and it's vocals. She's provided
vocals.
yeah,
yeah.
Okay, fair.
definitely.
Yeah, I was gonna ask one more question, but yeah, I'll leave it. I'll leave
No,
it.
do it.
No, I was gonna say, like, do you feel like, because like what John said is like the role of money is so prominent on this record. Do you feel like, do you kind of agree? Like, do you feel like, as you know, as good as, you know, like caring about someone and loving someone else, do you feel like money plays that much of a prominent role in relationships, maybe for yourself or just in society in general, especially in this country? What do you think?
No, I think not for me personally, but I can understand that everyone's different and some people's relationships might just be like that. We could go into the recent Valentine's Day debate, dun dun dun.
Oh,
And, you know, some people might think that some gifts are a bit performative for the gram, but I think it's all about knowing your partner, really. I would not mind personally a whole bag of reasons why you like me over like.
Oh no! Oh no!
I'm just saying.
Actually, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna call you out. I'm gonna call you out. So you are from Zimbabwe, correct?
Oh my days.
Yeah.
Go on.
You know where this is going, right? And obviously, in traditional Zimbabwean culture, when, you know, a guy is trying to marry a Zimbabwean girl, sorry.
Do you cut these clips out? I want you to put this clip on the internet. Go on.
Yeah, cool. You know, I'll cut this one out. Yeah. So when it comes to, you know, meeting a Zimbabwean women, you have to pay up. It's not free. Like, do you know what I mean? So there's a dowry involved. Is that not true?
Yes, it is. So everyone who's wondering what is going on, basically, when you are Zimbabwean, there is, well, most African traditions do this. There is something we call like a dowry, as you said. In Zim culture, it's called lobola.
Okay.
And basically, traditionally, it used to be like, you know, to marry a girl, the guy's family would give cows or some sort of gifts. I've heard some, I'm not an expert on this. Some people will give, like, they might pay for the bride's mum's outfit for the wedding or something like that. But throughout the years, it has kind of, it's gone higher and higher, and it's now actual money.
Inflation.
Yeah. So what's the question that you asked me?
No, because you said that that's not something you don't really care about, but it's something you have to care about. No, you kind of have to care about.
I don't play a part in it.
Oh, fair enough.
So I don't like. You can't give my dad a whole. You said you can't give my dad a whole basket of reasons why you like me, because it's not. You know what I mean? It's not happening. But yeah, I mean, I don't mind flowers, but I just feel I'm not that fussy.
Fair.
It's about knowing your person, okay?
True. That's true. I 100% agree with that.
Yeah.
Anything else from
Unbelievable. Yeah, I've got a couple more questions.
Okay, cool.
Sure. I guess one question, like, we've obviously talked a lot. The songs are about like sex and stuff, but like, it's interesting how the album shows both sides of it, right? Like, that it can bring good things like empowerment and like, I guess, healing over like bad situations. She's just out enjoying herself. And then also there's the other side of it where it's I think there are some lines where she's like sex is the only thing that's like actually left, and that it's kind of seen as like a bit of a, not a crutch, but like are you just liking me for the sex, or is it like anything else? So I don't know, it's kind of cool that it looks at like both like the good and the bad of what that can bring. Did you guys kind of take anything from that?
Was that one? It was one. I think it was it Amanda's tale? Am I getting that wrong? It was one of the tales near the
it's
end.
Later on, yeah. Amanda's Tale was the second to last song.
Oh no, Precious'
Girl Like Me.
tale. Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Thandie can expand on this, but when I heard that, I was like, oh, it's kind of sad actually. Like you kind of feel like your worth is only in the pussy that you give. Like, come on, you better than that. Like, but then maybe in a world where you especially if you kind of look at the previous songs as well, where you kind of think everything's so transactional, then fuck it. Why would I feel like people just like me for me? Do you know what I mean? Like, there's always going to be a condition on it. Like, same with that fucking tale that I hate. But like, you know, you have sex to kind of get what you want, and you kind of live in a world where you kind of believe that. Then, yeah, why wouldn't you see it that way? Like, or you know, you can put it down, but you don't know if you're good enough just being you. But yeah. I mean, Thandie, you can expand on that.
I think it definitely epitomizes like a modern day situation of how our relationships are going nowadays. People aren't putting labels on stuff, and you can find yourself in very toxic situationships. So I think she's kind of just highlighted every single aspect of modern day love and where it kind of is at. And you do get some situations where people do think, you know, money is involved, or maybe the only thing this guy actually wants is the pussy, or like the only thing I want from this guy is his dick. Other than that, his mum's a cunt, as I said. You know what I mean? So
you've gone from "Can I swear on this" to dropping a C-bomb. I love it.
Out.
Confidence.
So yeah, I agree.
Yeah, is it an instant classic, Topo?
Oh, fuck off. Oh, man. Yeah. No, I'm going to give context. So, I don't know if you've seen Thandie. So, Charlemagne, I know these people get the record early because obviously they interviewed Jazmine Sullivan like a couple months before it came out.
Right.
All that good stuff, whatever. But he even said, I know it's already been 2 days. So, I'm not even going to include all that time there because I'm pretty sure he didn't fucking listen to the record anyways. But he said, yeah, it's only been a couple of days, but I think Jazmine Sullivan's Heaux Tales is an instant classic. You know how I feel about this. It's definitely not an instant classic. If I look at Jazmine's discography, it's definitely not even up there for me. That doesn't mean we're talking about a good discography here, so it's not shade. But if I look at her 4 albums, I can't say this is like the best one. It's not the best one. It's cool, and she's showing a different side to her. She's definitely being a lot more trendy. Definitely trying to jump on the wave, but yeah, I can't say it's a classic. I mean, it's not, like I said, I think I said it on the episode that people acting like it's Control. Like it's not. I mean, I think Control is a classic, but I didn't say it was an instant classic even when it came out. So yeah, what do you think, Thandie?
Yeah, I definitely agree. I don't think it's a classic. That is very far-fetched. Not very far. Oh.
No, keep it. No, don't backpedal. Do not backpedal here. Come on, keep going.
Yeah, I don't think it's a classic, but I do at the same time agree with you where you're saying a lot of her old stuff could probably come in front of this album. Comparing it to Control, I hear it, but if you think about how old SZA was when she did Control and how old Jazmine is at the moment, that's the differences and the experiences maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree. Control definitely wasn't a classic when it first came out, but it came out in that year, guys. That good year.
Oh, we always talk about it.
2017.
Yeah,
that was the year.
We've just come off the backlash of the summer 2016, which was very good, by the way. And so I think that's really upped Control as an album for where it's at now. And I think it is heading towards, classic. So it is quite interesting because at the same time, SZA's got her album coming out this year as well.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to see where that's going.
Yeah. Don't know if I have as much faith in this one as Control. It feels like Control was not a fluke, but we'll see how it goes. But I mean, we'll see how it goes. On this one,
Does that kind of conclude?
That closes out.
Thoughts on the album.
Yeah, no, it was pretty good. It's pretty fucking good. Like I know people were acting like I was shit on it because I didn't want to like give it all the flowers. Like it was literally like, I think we talked about it, like literally, it couldn't have been more than 5 days after it came out. People had some crazy takes, man. I was like, come on, man, relax. But no, it's really good. In terms of EPs this year, obviously, I'll say it's the best one, but I've only heard this EP this year, so you know. But I think there's a lot of strong projects coming out this year, though, and I don't know if we predict correctly. Also, we have the whole of TD coming out. Nail might drop this year. Daniel Caesar might drop this year. You know, there's a lot of good R&B singers, and you gotta think, okay, would when this is all said and done, will she kind of like be number one? I wouldn't put my money on it, but I'll still say it's pretty decent.
I think it will. Oh, actually, can I jump in? Yeah, I think it will. I think like by the end of the year, I think it might stand the test of time just because it's doing something that maybe it's not entirely unique. I know obviously she herself mentioned a lot of artists that are kind of making music that is like specifically about empowering and being like confident and like talking about all these things that like male artists do all the time, and as soon as a female artist does it, it's like, oh, are you doing this? But I think it will stand the test of time over the course of the year because it's doing something different, because it was like a concept, and I know people love concepts as I do.
They do. Fair. That's a good point.
Yeah, but we'll see.
Cool.
Yeah, I think it's time to before we do our now and then playlist, let's shout out your socials and 9 Bills and all of that good stuff. Where can we find you?
Because I don't always remember my socials. Okay, so
on the business card,
you are interested in UK music and pop culture. Our socials for 9 Bills are at 9 Bills BILLS, and that's on Twitter. And then on Instagram we are at 9bills.co.uk, and you can visit our website 9bills.co.uk.
Yep.
Some of the great takes we have on different things, and we try hard, we do hard, so much appreciated. If you want to hear me like my stupid tweets and the rubbish I talk about on Twitter and do on Twitter, my Twitter handle is at Thandie tweets. So that's THANDIE tweets with TW, no T.
Wow. We'll add it in the description box, lads.
We'll add it in the description. TWEETS.
Old fucking handles.
But it's 2 S's on the end. It's 2 S's on the end. Yeah.
Because you gotta be original.
If you hear me on the podcast and you want to argue with someone, feel free not to.
I mean, where can people find your interviews? Because you did an interview with George, who was our artist spotlight like a week ago. So where can people find your interviews, stuff like that?
Cool. How did you guys know about that?
I mean, we know everything.
Just hit the street.
Yeah, we have to know everything.
Well, okay. So I'm a freelancer at the same time. I've done quite a few interviews. I do have a link in my Instagram handle, which is THANDDD. That's my Instagram. And you can catch some interviews like Eric the Architect from Zombie, Flatbush Zombies, the Gabsy interview.
Okay.
The Blast interview. I've done quite a few.
Got some clout there, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah, come on. Do talk your shit.
I'm doing okay. Yeah, so go check them out. They're on my Instagram.
Okay, cool. All right, so to kind of wrap up the episode, we always wrap it up with our bespoke playlist and now and then. Yeah, so we add a fresh song, like a song that's quite recent, and we add a song that's and we add a song that's an oldie. So since Thandie's our lovely guest, why don't you go first?
So I didn't know what you guys meant by oldie.
Just anything. It could be anything. Old as you want.
This isn't that old. It was released in 2019.
Okay, that's fair.
And I feel like it's a song that, for those who know, they know. they know. Like, I feel like if you slept on it, sorry for you. Okay. And I revisited this song last week, and I just love it. And it's Jaden Smith, 19. Has anyone heard that song?
I have.
I've seen some tweets
Yeah.
about it. So when we spell your Twitter handle out later, people can find that.
Yeah.
You were tweeting about it, right?
Yeah, I was tweeting about it
Yeah.
because
Mm-hmm.
that song's just amazing, guys. It gives me these like, do you know like when songs give you like a proper like butterfly feeling? I don't know what it is. It has no memory attached to it, but it feels like it has a memory attached to it. And I think, yeah, it's just one of the best songs ever. And then for my new song,
Best songs ever.
No, it's because people always
Debate
make these
man.
like massive statements at the end of episodes.
the best song ever, guys. Okay.
Jaden, for all his pitfalls, he does.
He's not bad.
He does have an ability to like create like nostalgic atmospheres, even if he's like chatting some really whack stuff. Like he does.
Yeah.
He does.
Very Gambino influenced in that sense.
In particular, the way it's.
Don't talk about that joint product.
Oh, yeah. No. That song in particular, the way it's produced, it's just, it sounds lovely. It's just, yeah.
Okay.
It's good. And then I wrote my other one down because I knew I'd forget. Oh yeah, okay. Since we were on the subject of, oh damn, I can't pronounce it.
Sure.
Outcast, Spotty.
Otti Dupalicious or something like that. Yeah.
Listen to that actual song because it's timeless.
Okay, cool.
It's beautiful.
John, 2 songs.
Cool. My now song is going to be off the slowthai, his new album, Terms. Yeah, Terms. I think that's the one with Denzel Curry and
Terms.
I've forgotten his name.
Dominic Fike.
Yeah, that's him.
Yeah.
My then song is quite a ways back. It's The Look of Love by Slum Village.
Okay. Not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Great group.
All right. I'm also gonna go slowthai as well. Yeah, 2 chips in. Yeah, fucking sick, man.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with I Tried. Fucking amazing song, man. Yeah, shout out to slowthai. Just always killing it.
It's a really good project, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my then song is What You Need by Kate Trinada and Charlotte Day Wilson. Absolute banger. So yeah.
99.9%, wasn't it?
No, that's Bubba. Bubba.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Charlotte Day is
I know.
something special.
Yeah.
I'm also, can I give two more shout outs? Oh my gosh.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Guys, I'm sorry. So in terms of UK music, because we have to big up some UK music, I've been listening to Rags Original. Is it Originale?
Yeah, Original. Yeah, Rags Original.
Yeah. And he has a new project. And for me, I like songs Send For You and Brush You. They're 2 really good songs. He's really talented. I was quite shocked because I'd never actually heard of him. And who else was I going to put on?
You getting paid for these? Can we get in on this?
I'm always trying to put people on good music.
Oh, no.
And if anybody's listened, this is in light of the new Gets next. Is it next week or this Friday? It's this Friday.
Yeah.
For those who haven't listened to some of the tracks that he's released kind of lead up to it, you do definitely listen to Mozambique featuring Gets and JK and Moonchild Sonelli. Moonchild Sonelli is an incredibly talented lady. She's from South Africa.
Yeah.
She's sick. I love South African music. She's one of my faves.
Yeah, crazy story about that record actually, because I think he was doing like a boot camp in South Africa or something like that, as Gets does. Why not? And I think people were like making like these songs in different rooms, and he kept hearing about this girl, and he was like, "What the fuck? I need to make a song with her." And obviously, she doesn't really speak that much English. I think someone must have told her about the concept of the song, and she kind of just wrote this like verse like in like no time. I was like, that's fucking crazy. Like, yeah, she's got a lot of talent. So yeah.
Like Moonchild Sonelli's the one.
The one.
He is
the chosen one.
Yeah. No, it's a good song. Mozambique's a good song. So yeah, no, shout out to her. Fam. Cool. I think that'll be it from us, really.
Yeah. As always, you can find all of our playlists on Spotify, The Vinyl Collective. You can find our Instagram, which is at The Vinyl Collective Pod, and our Twitter at TVC Pod. We're on YouTube. We're on Google Podcast. We're on Apple Podcast. We're on YouTube too. There's no escaping. We're on Facebook.
Almost on SoundCloud. almost
on SoundCloud.
It's fucking long, mate. But
It's the final frontier.
It's the
final
last
frontier.
one. Just cannot be bothered, mate. But yeah, it will come.
Are you
And
guys
obviously,
on Tidal?
oh no, I
We're
mean,
not.
wait, can you be on Tidal? Do Tidal do
Can,
podcasts?
apparently, yeah, you can.
Mad. Jay-Z, call me. You know
Yeah,
what
yeah.
I mean, let's work something out, and then we can see how it goes. But yeah, till next week, guys. Thank you for tuning
Yeah,
in.
thank you
Thandie,
for coming along.
Thanks for having me, guys.
No
I
worries.
mean, I've had fun. You guys are very interesting. You're an interesting pair.
I'll take that as a compliment.
We'll take that. Yeah, don't know what that means, but thank you.
Right there.
Cool.
Thanks for tuning in.